Hi, I'm Diane from Falcon, and today I'm going to tell you a really cool trick to get a perfect Rouleau loop to go over a button or a toggle or any kind of fastener like that. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I hate Rouleau loops. They're really fussy. I can never, ever, ever get them to turn out. And every time I have to make one, I just die a little inside. I used to feel that way too, but that was before I knew the trick. And here's the trick. We're going to use the magic of bias stretch to make it happen. And you can use this trick for making the Rouleau loop for your positive space jacket or any other pattern that you have where you need that kind of a closure. For the positive space jacket, this is the Rouleau loop pattern. You'll notice it's not a loop-shaped piece at all. It's a square, and you're going to cut it on the straight of grain. So you can see the green line there, right? So I enlarged this a little bit just for demonstration purposes, and also because for the jacket that I'm making, I'm using this really cool big antique button that I found at the local vintage shop, EBM Vintage. If you're ever in New Haven, Connecticut, check it out. So I added an inch so you can see a little better. But here it is on the straight of grain. And you'll notice that if you pull it on the bias, you turn it sideways, it stretches a little. All fabric usually stretches a little more in one direction than the other. It kind of seems like this way is a little stretchier, so we'll go with that. So what you're going to do is fold it in half, right sides together. And you're just going to sew along here, just go straight down like this, about 1 centimeter, which is 3/8 of an inch or so. If your fabric's really thick, you might need to make it a little wider. If your fabric is pretty thin, you can get away with a little narrower Rouleau loop. But for this fabric that I'm working with, about 3/8 of an inch is going to do the trick. Here's the sewn square, which has been folded over so that you have a bias edge here, and I've sewn along here. And then what you want to do is just trim off most of this square, and you just want to get really close to the stitching line, a couple millimeters, like 1/8 of an inch or less. You just want to trim that all off. And from there, you can try different methods to do the turning out. This one tends to work pretty well for me. You can see that it has a little hook here that you hook on and go through, and we'll show that. There's also the big chopstick method sometimes works well, or one of these things. Whatever works for you is cool. You want to just insert your tool of choice in here, and I'm just gonna catch the little hook there on the end, and then you start to pull it, and just like it takes a second to get it started, so be kind to yourself at this point. Just kind of give it a little wiggle. There we go. And before you know it, it will start to come out. And there you have it. Ta-da! It's a Rouleau loop. And give it a good press, of course. You can see that it's a nice slim loop. It's got enough stretch in it to go nicely over my really cool antique button, with some room to spare here on the side, because this, of course, is secured in the positive space jacket between the front and the facing at the dot on the front, or just wherever else you are putting your Rouleau loop. You have space for, of course, for your seam allowance, and it's easy to get the button in and out, and it looks nice. It also can be kind of fun to do a different contrasting fabric if you want to add just a little style element to your garment. Give that a try too. If you have a fabric that's really grippy, you might find that it's really hard to turn out, in which case any kind of a more slippery fabric will probably do well for you. And if you just really can't handle it and Rouleau loops still aren't for you, no worries. An elastic fabric covered ponytail holder also works great. This is Diane from Falcon. I look forward to seeing your Rouleau loops soon and your positive space jackets. Thanks for watching.